Hi, I'm Peter Birch. Today we're going to have a look at this little project I've been working on for some time, all thanks to our good friends at Reptile One. I hope you enjoy this week's show. Thanks for watching CrittaCam. Alright, so yesterday we put in the copy rock backgrounds. We actually cut them to size, positioned them inside the enclosures, and then what we did is we took the rocks that we wanted to put on top. And in this case we've used a dino rock on one cage because it's already got the flat back, which makes it really easy for us to glue it back to the enclosure itself. And then we've got this pretty awesome corner section. It's got multi-levels, looks really awesome. Now, what we also did today, earlier today, obviously, not right now, is we silicone sealed all around the edges. Now, the reason why we silicone sealed around the edges, as you can see around here and up around the top and all around the bottoms and everything, was to prevent any live food getting in behind the backgrounds, setting up a new house. We don't want that. We want the live food to be hunted down, caught and eaten. That's the whole idea of live food. And obviously it's going to make it so much easier for us to clean, and it's going to stop any of the inhabitants in the enclosure getting in there, burrowing their way through the backgrounds and finding a spot where we can never get to. So they're all glued in, nice, ready to go. So here we are, like 8 hours later after we've sealed all the backgrounds. We're getting ready to do some of the substrates and some of the other bits and pieces. It's always amazing, so many people really want to see you put a cage together. I just don't understand, but I don't need to understand it, because this particular animal that we're going to stick in this enclosure comes from Central Australia, Central to Western Australia. We're going to use red sand, so obviously we're not putting a rainforest species in here. We're going to use bright red sand. That would be a bit of a no-go, obviously. So we're chucking a little bit of sand to get us going. Now, something that I really think is pretty cool are these branches. I think these things are really cool. They're plastic. They look really like real branches, really. That's the best part about it. But we can get these suckers in here and you can stack them. Now, going back to the particular species that we're putting in here, it's an arboreal species, so it likes to climb lots. So we're going to chuck this artificial limb in here, giving them the ability to get up on this nice basking ledge that we've already preempted by gluing it in there. That's where we want him to bask up there. And this nice stacking branch, exactly what we want them to use. Now we're going to chuck in some other stuff there to make it a little bit more realistic. So the corner water bowls. I like the corner water bowls because if you chuck it out in the middle of nowhere, then typically what's going to happen is they might not get found, because most lizards and snakes typically run around the edges of their cages, follow the edge of the cages, they find the water, they can have a drink. Makes sense, right? So we always move the substrate out from underneath the water bowl, or anything that's decent heavy in the enclosure, because we don't want them to burrow underneath and get trapped underneath. Now what we're also going to use is this pretty awesome Spinifex, yeah, in Australia, Spinifex. But the one cool thing I like about this, it's almost like a hat, you know, if you put it on your head. Always look like a Smurf or something like that. King Julian, something different, yeah. And there again, it's got a heavy base, so we burrow it down, get it in there like that. Get some more sand in there. And I know there's some people out there going, oh my god, he's using sand. Yes, I am using sand. Believe it or not, it's a natural substrate for the environment. And I mean, look at that. 5 seconds, bit of sand, Spinifex, water bowl. Water bowl's necessary, hide necessary, UV light, heat lamp, plenty of perching opportunities, including the background. We're going to have some happy little lizards in there.
And what would you say for the people that don't like using sand?
You don't like using sand? I would recommend, I don't know what I could recommend for you.
No, a lot of people say stomach impactions.
Stomach impactions, yeah, well, I've had a lot of people say this on YouTube all the time, and we get a lot of comments about it. My animal gets stomach impacted when you use sand. Do you give the animal the opportunity to be well hydrated? The animals can naturally digest sand. It's a roughage, it pushes everything out. Catch a wild animal living on sand, it'll poop, there'll be sand in the poop. Only makes sense to me. But if you're not hydrating your animal enough, then you will have issues, obviously, because they're drying out from the inside and the outside. So therefore, make sure you keep the hydration right up there. So, once again, we've got coffee rock on the back there. Nice, sturdy. So it's going to allow the animals to move in a vertical motion. Plenty of area to move horizontally. And there again, knowing the type of animals we're going to be using or place in here, we're taking that in consideration when we're building this enclosure. So there again, we're going to use sand again because I know everyone hates sand. Don't be a sand hater, be a sand lover. Why else do you go to the beach? Many people go to the beach because it has stones or dirt. Not me. Not I. So there again, we just put a thin layer to start. And then what we do is we put another corner water bowl in there. And we put it, so we've got heat over here, basking opportunities, water bowl, away. Away. Yeah, that's it. Nice corner water bowl. It's up to you what products you use. But clearly I'm using all the Reptile One products because, as they like to say, it's the next best thing to nature. It's pretty awesome. So, what shall we stick in here? So we had a whole heap of stuff that was sent to us. We have another Spinifex, so we'll put that in there because that's always a nice bit of colour, and it does come from the area these guys come from as well. So we'll chuck on the darker green one. So we've got two different colours. Got the bluey silvery one, which is much like my hair, and the bright dark green. Once again, King Julian rules. We can jam that in that corner. Because not only is it adding colour, it's also giving the animals ample opportunity to hide and seek refuge. And one of the other cool things about that, it also allows the food to hide, which means the animals have to work a little bit harder to find their food. And in a lot of zoo and fauna park circles, they call that environmental enrichment. Pretty flash words, right? But basically it's making the animals use more of their natural behaviours to find the food and search. Pretty cool. Some more sand. Once again, don't be a sand hater. Be a lover of sand. Most of the time people are using gecko or have geckos that are getting impacted. I just find that really interesting, considering we keep a lot of geckos and we typically don't have any compaction issues at all. I've got a hole, I've got a leak. Oh no, I've got a leak. I'm leaking sand everywhere. Right, so obviously sand. We've got this cool little rock that I might chuck in here as well. It's obviously one of those fake rocks. It's not a Reptile One product, I know, it's crazy. But you can cut it out, looks like a rock, gives the animals an opportunity to hide while they're in plain view. And of course these little suckers will just burrow in there, knowing exactly what these little guys are up to. And that's pretty cool, look at that. There's two pretty cool environments. Semi-arid or arid environments. Get your spinifex grass, get your rock ledges, basking opportunities in both enclosures, hiding opportunities, hunting opportunities, water. And these guys are going to love it. Obviously we're just chucking some of this H2O, very special stuff. It's the pure stuff down here in Australia, unlike the rest of the world. We have the pure grade H2O. Hopefully you're enjoying our new shows on our channel and enjoying the adventure with us. It's pretty awesome. And that's basically, these two enclosures are ready to rock and roll. Now, we have been working on the third one, which is down below here. And that's going to be a completely different scenario, obviously. So we'll get down low and we'll talk about that a little bit more. So this is the last cage in this particular unit that we're working on. You can probably see the other guy behind me. That was a new project. Just revamped it, some extra plants, new filtration, new filter, new animal. And that's the exciting part about keeping animals, is getting reinvigorated and re-inspired to do something a little bit different, a little bit cooler. Now this cage here is going to be more semi-aquatic, just like this guy. So therefore we're going to have water up to about here. These cages are very, very flexible. They do come with a divider in them that allows you to have two separate units like we've seen above. I've taken the divider out, which has now opened it up to a much larger enclosure. And we're going to fill it up with water, basically up to the bottom of the, you can see the background here, the copy rock background. And we're going to place something like this, a nice big basking opportunity in the middle. Going to have some larger pebbles in there. But some of the cooler stuff that we got was some of these stuff here, the mangroves. These things are pretty damn cool, I think. So we're going to take the opportunity to use these mangrove looking things in here. We'll probably, of course, being semi-aquatic is going to need some filtration of some sort. So we haven't worked out the finer details just yet, but that's sort of the scenario we're going down. So we're going to have a bit of mangrove action going on, and we've got a fair few different plants. We're going to fill it up with plants, plastic plants, so that way the filtration can be working really efficiently. Going to get the lighting and the heating worked out really well. Obviously you're going to get some UV fluorescent tubes, just like up the top here, going, filtration. And depending on how we go, because we're now inside, that's right, we're inside this secret house. We might be able to even, we might need to heat the water, but we're not really sure yet, so we'll just keep an eye on that. We'll just see how we go with the heating and the temperatures in the house, but being where we live and it's pretty cold, I'm going to say might have to heat the water for at least a few months of the year in those cool times. So, as we continue to build this, we continue to keep you up to date with what we're doing. So my old mate, buddy here, Fingers, this is his new house. He's got himself a girlfriend coming to help with his, he obviously is really stressed about the move here. Aren't you, Fingers? You're really upset about it? Get up there, buddy. To help him with his transition, this is his favourite log. That's right, a nice hollow favourite log. Isn't it? What's your favourite log? So we're going to put that in his enclosure to help with the transition and make it so much easier for him. And how cool is this? In the other side we're putting Varanosaurus or stores monitors. Probably one of the very few underrated small monitor species. There's a male in here in his log. Of course they get very fond of their logs. And this is the female. Typically hides a fair bit, so we'll see how they go. But awesome enclosure for these beautiful little things. These guys typically inhabit sort of northern Queensland, northern Territory obviously, in that central area there. There's a couple of different subspecies amongst them, and these are one of the very few beautiful little stores monitors. Love the red sand, love the spin effects, hollow logs, rocks, climbing opportunities everywhere. Along with the gillons, man, these guys are going to absolutely love this. I can't wait to sit back and watch these guys thrive. I hope you enjoyed the show today about making this naturalistic looking enclosures. I think it's the way to go. Getting away from plastic tubs is probably the best way. It makes me feel real good inside and helps you get closer to nature. Make sure you hit us up on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Until next time, thanks for watching CrittaCam, guys.